to Sports Connection. I'm Darrin Joines, Williamson County Schools Athletic Director. As always, my partner in crime, my co-host, Tate Mathews. Tate, big week coming up.
Big week. Tournament season, brother.
Tournament season.
I know you're excited.
Very excited.
You starting to miss it a little bit?
Well, I've missed it the whole year. You know, people ask me all the time, do you miss coaching? And I immediately, before they get the question out, I say yes. And they look surprised, like, oh, like maybe I thought I shouldn't have taken the job. But I think if I was doing a decent job, surely I miss it, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
And if I didn't miss it, it means I didn't care about it.
That's right.
Loved it.
Did it
Love
for a
this
long
too.
time.
Love this too, by the way.
Keeps you involved.
Does keep me involved. Hey, tell our viewers out there, because we've got the individual state wrestling tournament this weekend. And to me, me being a novice to the sport, when I hear the traditional state championship, I naturally thought it would be the duels because it's your team against the other team.
Right.
But the individual team championship is actually the traditional, right?
Yes, and it's you want them both, but that's the big daddy, man.
So if you win that, it's more impressive than winning the duels.
Yes.
And why is that?
Well, I think one, because it's everybody. You know what I'm saying? So when you get to the state duels, Centennial and Oakland, does that make sense?
Yeah, Skylar Coffee wasn't there in the duels.
Skylar Coffee wasn't there. So if you won the heavyweight match, that you weren't the heavyweight champion.
Right.
It's everybody. You know what I'm saying?
No, that makes sense.
And so it's just tougher to win it. The teams are not as many. Not that it takes anything away from it. The duels, that's a heck of a deal. And usually, you watch, Cleveland is going to be right up there. Probably will win this one too. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way it always was. And it's an exciting event, man. Seriously, if you've never been, whether you have a kid that wrestles or didn't wrestle or whatever, when they get to those finals, man, it is cool. And the champions walk. I think they still do it, but like the two finalists in each weight class, they'll bring them out and they walk around the.
Oh, that's cool.
It's awesome.
And they get a
parade of champions or something.
And I like how in wrestling they do the podium look.
Yes.
It's great, man.
Oh, it's very
A
good.
lot of cool things that go on with the culture of wrestling.
Oh yeah, and now like with the D2, you'll have you have the 189. The 195 pound match. 189 used to be a class, but those were usually good dudes. But you'll have the D2 one going on and the AAA one going on. It's really neat.
Looking forward to going.
It's at the Ag Center.
Looking forward to going.
And well represented.
Let's talk about that. 10 region titles, okay? 39 qualify for state. Now listen how we finish here. This is the top 12. I'll stop once we get to our teams. First place, Brentwood. Second place, Centennial. Third place, and by the way, the most state qualifiers, Page.
Pretty cool.
It's very cool. Fourth, Summit. Fifth, Indy. Then you've got Overton and McGavick, and then it goes Franklin, Ravenwood. So
Yep.
Man, what a performance by the individuals and as teams.
For sure. And then right there.
And it's not always been this way, right?
Which part?
In terms of this dominance for our teams. It has been for a little bit, but not always.
Well, they've always been that. Page hadn't been up there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now that they've become, there they are in the top three. But Brentwood took a dip, and now they're back, obviously. So no, it's top to bottom. It's the best the league's ever been.
You think Brentwood's got a legit chance to win it? It's going to be tough.
Cleveland's just so, but they're going to be up there. I would think Coach Smith's goal would be top 10.
Yeah.
But right there, they didn't even go to the duels. They were close, but you know what I'm saying?
Which let them heal up, by the way.
Let them heal up, and then you look at the gap. That's a pretty good gap right there between first and second place.
It is.
And so, but they've got, they've got. It's all about how many you can get up on that podium. You got one. Johnny Mack is going to place. You got to think Finch is going to place. If Garner can get up there, it's going to be interesting, man. I think top 10 is what you're shooting for, and then who knows, man? You get a couple of guys get one that they weren't counting on getting, and then that's when it starts adding up.
Let's talk about those 10 region champions. Russell Ford, Independence, Dylan Abel, Centennial, Presley Dittmer, Centennial, Leo Gerhardt, Centennial, Tanner Willett, Independence, Alex Abels, Centennial, Jacob Knight, Centennial, Mitch Lambert, Page, Johnny Mack, Brentwood, and of course, Skylar Coffey, Brentwood.
Let me tell you something. I saw a picture on Twitter, and I loved it, man. I forgot that Alex Steele wrestles heavyweight.
Yeah.
He played running back.
Yeah.
And was good, man. And so, and then in that classification with probably the best heavyweight to come through since I don't know when. I thought that was pretty cool, man. Good for him. And I mean, he's really good. He's got a chance to place. But how many times do you see a running back wrestle heavyweight?
So I was at the Brentwood at Centennial match, and those two wrestled. I was like physically scared.
How'd you like to get in the middle of that?
I was like physically scared because I was close enough that if they came, they could have run over me. And we'd have another district athletic director.
For sure. That's gonna. I would love to see that one again. I saw the Pulliam did a great job tweeting it. I'm pretty sure it was him, but and then Brian Rice versus Max Van Landingham. Those are great matches, man.
Great matches. Nowensville, also region champions, right?
Yep.
And Fairview, region champions. So those two schools right in there again. Fairview, Nowensville, do they have a shot, you think?
I do. I think Fairview does. They got 11 guys in. That's good,
right.
And so, yeah, I think they got a real shot.
5 region champions from Fairview.
Strong.
Very strong. Those guys doing a great job.
You've said it all year. I mean, they might be the team this year of all divisions.
The fact, though, even though it's been a couple of weeks, but the week after the duels, they'd start again.
Oh, yeah.
Does that hurt them a little bit that they've been
it just depends.
Or they were in that competition as well as Nowensville and Centennial?
I don't think it hurts. I mean, it just depends on how healthy they are, Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they were wrestling banged up. It didn't look like it. So, obviously, it was great for Brentwood to not be in there. But, no, I don't think it hurts them at all.
Hey, how about, before we talk about high school basketball, Fairview Middle School boys? They make it all the way to the state championship. They end up losing to Bellevue Middle, not the Bellevue we know here locally.
Right.
But,
I don't even think, is that one still there? Maybe not.
I have no idea. But what a great performance by Fairview Middle School boys basketball.
Yeah. Well, I've we've talked about it, and you have too. You've seen them some in the travel. Is that what we call it? Spring basketball. I've seen a couple of their players for years, and if you haven't seen them, Fairview Middle can play with anybody around here, buddy. They got a couple. Coach McCoy's son's one of them. They got a couple. They got a few guys
coaches'
that can go.
kids. Two coaches' kids are good players, right?
Heish, I don't want to single. I just know those two. Those two can play.
Yeah, they can play.
So that's a big accomplishment, man.
Exciting time for them, and I know Coach McCoy is obviously excited to get those guys to the high school level.
Yes.
Very excited. Now let's talk. So the tournament starts this week in basketball, right? So at the time of the taping of this show, some of this could change because there's a possibility for some ties, but we're going to go with the tournament draw being what it would be with one game left. Now, there are some things that could happen. For example, right now at 5-6 is Ravenwood Summit. Summit beats Dixon, then there's a coin flip.
Coin flip. Who flips?
For 5. Probably the host. I'm trying to think of all the coin flip, the host that's doing the meeting, so it'll be Independence.
Okay.
It'll be Mary Beth White. She may get me to flip it.
There's a Wilco coin. Take it down there and flip it.
That's exactly what I need to do.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yes.
I'm glad you told me that. But it may not be a tie.
We need to live stream it or whatever.
And there is a difference, by the way, between 5 and 6, because if you're 5, you're going to get Indy. If you're 6, you're going to get Dixon. It depends on the matchup, too. So if you're Ravenwood and or Summit, 5 could be better, 6 could be better based on how you match up with them. We don't want anybody throwing games, though.
No.
Which has
happened. They both ended up getting jobs.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple weeks ago. All right, so let's take a look here. Just a couple of things here. The final AP poll came out, by the way. Brentwood 3, Page 10, Nowensville 8. Very strong. there by the ladies. And then the mid-state rankings by the Tennessean keep moving up. Brentwood 2, Page 5, Nolensville 8. I love it. I love it. Girls basketball very strong right now.
Got a chance, you said it, legit chance to get 3 on the girls' side
Be great.
in Murfreesboro. It would be so awesome. And, the only question for Nolensville, that they went undefeated through their region, district. And I know they're ready for tournament time. Get some tough games in, but they're ready, man. They got the 3-headed monster. They're ready. Coach Ladd is ready, isn't he?
Ready to go. Hey, and they had that close game with Marshall County. 48,
I know, that one surprised me.
48-47. I think it's because they're ready, though.
It was
I really
senior
do.
night, and yeah.
I think it's because they're ready for the tournament, too. They've kind of not dropped off. They've been winning. But I just think they're ready to play that tournament. They're going to go up a level as soon as the tournament starts.
I think so, too.
I really believe that. All right, so let's talk. Brentwood will come in as the 1 seed. Again, this is at the time of the taping. And they'll play the winner of the 8-9 game, which will be Franklin Centennial. In that bracket also would be Indy Ravenwood. Could be Summit, but we're going to say Indy Ravenwood. The other bracket, number 2 seed, Page versus number 7, Spring Hill, and then Dixon Summit. Talk about what you think is going to happen on each side of the bracket.
I think this one, I think there is a clear 1 and 2. I hate it for Indy that they're going to probably be over there with Brentwood, but Page is no. So I think this is a clear. The top 2 teams are clearly the 2 best teams.
Yeah, I do too.
So I think that it's going to come down to them again, round 3. Nobody slowed Brentwood down yet. I don't know how they're going to do it. So,
Do you think Indy makes the Final Four, which would put them in the region?
I do.
Yeah, it'd be one of the best stories of the year in the league.
Yep. I think they win it, and then I think I can't wait to hear Summit
Dixon?
Dixon County. I'm not so sure Summit doesn't win that game.
I think Summit will win.
So then,
Dixon's a little banged up, by the way.
They're a little banged up. That's right. And so I think that might put them into the 4. So I think you can see Ravenwood, Page. I mean, not Ravenwood. Brentwood, Page, Indy,
Summit.
Summit.
I think it's a real possibility. And then you get in a situation, how would you like to be your Page 2 seed and a healthy Summit rolls in, and then you get in that situation, we've talked about this before, it's very key for our district. If we're saying Page and Brentwood are the best 2 teams, and they are, we really need them to play in the final.
Yep.
Otherwise, they're going to get lined up in the region.
Right.
If you finish 1-3, then you're going to line up with one another in the region tournament, and that's not good. You need to be 1-2 or 2-4.
That's right.
And 2-4 is not happening.
No.
I mean, that's
not with this.
No. And plus, we talk a lot about Brentwood, 15-0 in the league, 22-1 overall. But Page at 14-2, 23-2 overall. So their only losses are to Brentwood. So combined, if my math's right, they're 45-3. But take those games out with each other, so 43-1.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
Oh, without a doubt.
Pretty good years.
Yes. It's one of those where it's fun to watch, but you hate. I don't think it's going to matter. I think they're both going, but it's one of those where you're like, of all the years to, it's kind of like what we were talking about being a heavyweight right now. Bad year to be a heavyweight with Skylar Coffee around.
Hey, let's talk about the boys' standings. Oh, before we do that, though, the WCTV game of the week was Page at Summit. Let's take a look at the play of the week.
Carlton crossover and nice all the way in. And we see you, all 5'11", Trey Carlton with the dunk.
Trey Carlton being Trey Carlton, man.
And that's no bum out there guarding him, by the way.
No. That was explosive. That's fun to watch. And I think we're going to see some of that in the tournament, too. He's a guy that not a whole lot of people in the district can do that. He can.
He's definitely a dynamic player.
Yes.
And I look for him to have a big tournament. Carlton is a big game kind of player.
Oh, yeah.
And big moment kind of player.
He's the elder statesman on this team. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think he's primed for a big tournament. And if he does, look out for Summit.
No doubt. All right, let's take a look at the boys standing. First place, Brentwood at 13-2. Summit is 12-3. And if they ended up tied, if my thinking's correct here, Brentwood still wins based on you go from 1 all the way down, and the better your wins. So in other words, you're better off to have a bad loss if you tie and you're at the top, because it's based on how you do against the top teams. And one of Brentwood's losses is to number 6, so that doesn't really hurt them because you don't get that far down the. See, I think it'll be decided at Dixon. Brentwood swept Dixon, and I believe Summit split.
If Summit beats them.
That's right. So it's looking like Brentwood's won, Summit 2. And I'll tell you this, Coach Fay's obviously done a great job there at Summit. If Brentwood finishes 14-2 in first place, I don't see how Coach Shirley doesn't get the Coach of the Year.
I agree.
I think he's got to.
Yeah.
Because you look at their team.
This is his best coaching.
It's pretty impressive what they've done.
20 games.
And that's
20 wins.
that's no knock on those kids at Brentwood. Those are good kids. They play well, good players, but not maybe the level of some of the other players on the other teams.
That's right.
They're definitely, the sum of the parts is better than the individual parts.
I agree 100%. And they've got 2 guys, maybe not the flashiest, but Drennan and Winley, you know, they're putting up 30 points or more combined. Well, it's a pretty good start. You know, they're not going to make the play like Trey Carlton just made, but next thing you know, the scoreboard is hit all zeros and you just got beat.
Well, you talked about a lot of people, because I talked to the coaches in the league, they still thought, well, last week they've got on back-to-back nights. They've got a makeup game with Dixon on Thursday, and they've got Centennial on Friday. Several people thought they'd drop both games. What do? They beat Dixon, and then they beat Centennial by 10 after playing a game the night before. I'm telling you, they're playing well.
And they've been, all these guys, most of these guys, were on the state tournament team last year. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they've been there. They're experienced. Much more so than the other 3 that are in the top 4 right now. So that'll be interesting to see.
You know what I love about the situation at Brentwood there, too? One of the biggest fans of Brentwood High School, regardless of sport, Ron Crawford.
Oh, yeah.
He's
a Bruin, man.
He does that strength and conditioning program, too.
That's right. He gets them in there and part ownership, and I don't know if that's the right word, but it is. You know, they're his kids too.
He's bought in.
He's bought in. The women's basketball team's in there, man. I mean, they get it. He coaches them all the same. It's fun to watch. And you know, when he got there the first time, Team Brentwood, you know, he was really big on that, and he means it. I mean, he's a Bruin.
He definitely means it. Third place solidly is Dixon County, coming in at 10-5. Then it gets interesting.
Real interesting.
The 4-5 game, Centennial Franklin. Franklin will end up winning that tiebreaker if they tie, because Franklin swept Centennial. 6 is Ravenwood. Right now at 6-9. If they end up 6-10, they'll still be the team because they beat Brentwood. Tied with, or could be tied with Page in terms of record at 6-10. Then there's Independence at 5-10. Spring Hill 0-15. Now here's something that's a little tricky. If Independence were to beat Brentwood, if that happened, there would be potentially a 3-way tie. Ravenwood and Indy would both have beaten Brentwood, so they would move ahead of Page. Then it goes head-to-head, and I believe they split. And so as you go down the line, you got to find who had the best wins, and they may have the same wins. I'm not sure about that without looking.
Who came up with this?
What's that, how it works? I don't know. It's like it was just random. Like, here's what we'll do. If we're tied, let's do this. It's pretty wild. So, but we're going to go by
where we are right now.
That's right. So this may be wrong by the time we air, but I think it's going to be close. Mid-state rankings, by the way, Summit keeps creeping up. Number 8. None of the boys' team were ranked in the AP poll. That's probably been a while since we didn't have a team ranked in the AP poll. It's been a while.
Yep.
All right. So right now it'd be Brentwood versus the winner of Independence Spring Hill. And let me tell you something else. Independence will host Spring Hill in that 8-9. So they've got a game on their home floor. Maybe the confidence gets up. They got to play the next night, but still they're going, hey, we feel confident. We just played a game. We got the jitters out. They go to number 1 Brentwood, But they'll be motivated because if Independence could win, the Final Four is located
Independence,
at
they come back.
Independence. And then you never know.
That's right.
So no gimme there, so it means they would play twice in like 4 days. Tuesday night and again on Friday night. So maybe that's in Indy's favor to get used to playing a better team.
Yep.
Centennial Franklin. What do you think about that 4-5 game?
It's crazy, man.
And I couldn't win by picking this game, so I'll stay
You're
out
going
of
to leave
that.
that alone? Oh, you're asking me my pick?
Yeah.
Well, the last one, how many overtimes? Was it just one?
One overtime.
One overtime.
81-76.
81-76.
No Dusty.
No Dusty. Reed Kemp over 30.
I think he had 68 in the 2 games.
So that's where I struggle, man. You think, like, he can't keep doing that. But I also think Franklin's like the unicorn in this thing. I think Franklin could win this whole thing.
I do too.
So I know Centennial really feels like they're looking forward to this. So that being said,
Centennial also has more seniors that play.
that's right.
Maybe that matters. Maybe it doesn't.
Man, that's a tough one. But
I put you on the spot, didn't I?
yeah, I think Centennial gets this one.
Okay. We'll leave it at that. Now we'll say
My
this.
man's going to have a big night. I'm a big Reed Kemp fan.
And don't count him out, right?
No.
So here's the thing I would say for region purposes. Just the way the teams line up and their size and that kind of deal, I feel like Summit and Franklin may have the best chance to get deep in the region. And Franklin may not even get there.
Right.
Because they got a tough game with Centennial.
got a tough one.
In terms of region, those teams, and again, here I am counting out Brentwood just like everybody else has been doing. Don't be surprised if they're deep.
They've been there, 2 of the last 3 years? Is that right?
They've been there,
Yeah.
right? All right, and then on the other side, we've got Summit Page, which I think is a bad matchup for Page.
Bad matchup. For
It really is.
Page is better off playing Brentwood this season.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And then Dixon, Ravenwood. Ravenwood's already beaten Dixon.
That's right.
So how do you see those games?
So which one we start
So
with?
Summit Page.
Summit Page, I'm with you. Page has shown they're right there, and then had a big win over. It was Ravenwood, wasn't it? Last week.
Yes, overtime.
Okay. So here, but
Double overtime.
double overtime. I think that I think that's the worst matchup for Page.
I do too. I do.
And I think they're playing well right now. So I got to go with Summit on that one, and then the Ravenwood, Dixon County.
That's tough. It's at Dixon.
It's a tough one too. Now I think our field reporters, we're getting inside knowledge of insider trading info that Dixon might be banged up,
Yes.
and I'm going with my man Gaynor. I think Ravenwood gets.
I do too. I agree. So who do you see ultimately winning the tournament? You don't have to predict who's in the final, but what one team's going to win the tournament? I will go ahead and tell you, but it's just because I said it a couple of weeks ago. I'm going with Summit.
I disagree. They're going, but I think they're going to have if they have an off shooting night one night.
Wow.
I thought that about a week ago someone was going to win it. I think Brentwood wins it.
Wow.
I think they take this thing beginning to end.
Wow, that would be impressive. And you know what's too bad a little bit about basketball? The regular season accomplishment is more impressive. It just is. It's body work, 16 games over a long period of time. But the reality is, in basketball, it's about the tournament.
It's a tournament sport.
It is. You know, I think about the team we had at Franklin a couple of years ago. Centennial was playing the best, entering the tournament. Our team finished third place. Had to do it on a last-second Glover shot, no surprise, right? Just to finish third in the district.
Right.
We turn around and win the region. That's all people remember.
Yep.
They don't remember that Centennial had it rolling going to the tournament, but they ended up getting beat by Cane Ridge, I think it was.
Well, in the year of Coach Glass's state tournament team, they were a last-second shot.
Yeah,
Centennial from going home.
Don't remind. No, it was at Independence over.
Oh, it was?
Franklin. Yes, we'd beaten them twice.
Wow.
And then Grayson Murphy. What coach did not
Maybe-
who didn't get the ball out of Grayson Murphy's hand?
Coach Anderson. Coach Anderson's the defensive coordinator.
Hey, can you put an arrow towards my head and says dummy above it? Yeah, do that.
There's your gem for the
That's
week.
it. Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know if is that considered a gym?
We'll take it.
All right, let's talk AA. Okay, so Fairview, I'm so excited about this. So Fairview's girls, couple losses last week to Stewart County and Creekwood, but they still finished 14-2 10-4 overall, number 2 seed. They take on Waverly first round, which they're going to win that game. I'm going to go ahead and tell you they're going to win that game. And then they'll take on the Stewart County Camden winner. But more importantly, that would get them to the region tournament. Is there a nicer guy than Coach McGowan?
No, and they're going to the region
You
tournament.
got to be happy for them.
Heck yeah, man. They've stayed with it. I'm happy for these young ladies. They're going to the region tournament.
Boys side, losses again to Stewart County and Creekwood. Coach McCoy and the Yellow Jackets end up 15-11, 8-6 overall. They take on Waverly. Again, that's at home. They split, but I believe Fairview gets this one and they qualify for the region
They're
tournament.
playing spoiler. They're playing spoiler.
And where's the region or district tournament, by the way?
Is it at Fairview?
It's at Fairview.
Big time. Even better.
Hey, they only lost. Now, by the way, the Creekwood has been the cream of the crop there, right? Fairview lost to them last week, 61-58.
Yeah. They're going to ruin somebody's.
They are. I think they
February.
got a shot there in the semis. They win that first game. Nolensville, we talked about them on the girls' side, 21-4 overall, 10-0. They're the number 2 seed. Along with Coach DeGaulle and the boys, they were both 2-0 last week. They both, because they finished in the top 2, have qualified for the region tournament because it's a 6-team league. So they're already in the semis, both teams by finishing first or second.
That's good.
So that's exciting. Nolensville rolls, right? Not rolls, but Marshall County could be tough. And the tournament's at Marshall County.
We talking girls or boys?
Girls.
Here? Rolls.
I think so too.
It was senior night. It was a lot going on.
Yeah. I think they roll too.
Roll.
And then on the boys' side, wins over Forest and Marshall County last week. 11-14 overall, 6-4 in the league, already qualified. And I said this a few weeks ago, so I'm going to go back to this. In the final, that's when Nolensville is going to get community
I think you're right.
on the boys' side.
Yep. I think you're right.
And what would be cool about that, if they could win the tournament, that would get them to, 13-14, and then roll right into the region. May have a shot there, too, to win some games. We'll see how it goes.
Boy, that'd be fun, wouldn't it?
It'd be a lot of fun. It'd be a lot of fun. By the way, got the coaches from Nolensville and Fairview coming in for the coaches show this week.
Sweet. All 4 of them?
Yeah, well, Coach McCoy said if we get beat, I won't have anything to talk about, but I'm predicting he's going to be right here.
He's going to be okay.
I think he will, too.
It'll be good.
Tate, always great to have you in here.
Man, we'll be talking district tournament games next week.
We will. It's getting exciting.
I can't wait. And state wrestling tournament.
No doubt. And we're going to be in some gyms.
That's right.
We love the
We'll be
postseason.
around. We're going to be at the Ag Center.
Definitely going to be at the Ag Center. Looking forward to it. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on Sports Connection.